Hey guys, I'm back again. I think I've got the lighting situation sorted out so that hopefully you guys can see what's actually going on here. Um, this method is actually really simple. Just take some of the powder that you made from your stick, put it where it needs to go, and then just sort of smooth it out. Now what you're looking for here is valleys and any hard edges like we'll eventually do up here around the headline where the hair would be. That would be an example of an edge. Or if she was wearing, say, a bikini or something, we would edge both sides of the bikini out. But in this case, we're just going to shade it down. Normally I would go a little more subtle than what you guys are seeing here, but I need to go a little heavier to make sure it shows up. But really, that's all there is to this method is place powder, smooth powder. Place powder, smooth powder. That's all. I did that part there because if you look at it this way, you can kind of see the valley in the back. Down here, just kind of rotate it through. And smooth out over into the larger, flatter areas. I'm pulling it out into the larger flats. Down in the arm here. Just kind of smooth it out over onto the flats. It's actually really fast. I actually enjoy this process better than trying to shade with paint. Because with paint, you know, you got to do 37 different coats and got to wait for each individual coat to dry before you can get to the next one. This one here, you can actually just kind of do the whole model in about 10-15 minutes. Underneath the chin up here. Smooth it out, smooth it out, smooth it out. And feather a little. Alright. Oops, it's a little thick right down in here. See if I can smooth that out just a bit. Let's see. The crack of the leg. Get some more powder. Oops, little errant hair there. That's what happens when you own cats. Or I suppose to be more specific, I guess I should say that's what happens when the wife owns cats. And just smooth it out a little. The transitions are really subtle, but if you take your time with them, you can get a really good looking flesh tone to come out. See, sometimes you'll get a little bit of some over. Kind of keep your damp cloth, a little dry cloth, just to keep the water from messing up the next set that you do. And just fade it back out again. Alright. I need to go just a hair heavier there. Alright, now there's a little bit on the back side of the ankle here. And smooth. Little bit right inside the cheek there. Alright, had a little hiccup there in the video feed, so I'm going to redo this part for you guys. Picking back up where I left off. Just putting a little bit right in there. Following the curvature of the leg around. A bit on the back side of the ankle. Down in the toes. There's a little bit of an indent right here on the inside of the leg. Definitely need some shading in the crease where the skin folds over. Need a little bit on the bottom side of the toes. And in the valleys on the bottom of the foot. From there, we just, as always, blend it in. Blend it in. Feather, 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 wherever possible. Got a little bit going on there that I don't want, a little higher than I needed. Clean off with the wet paper towel. Dry with the other paper towel. Place the powder back a little bit. And smooth. Smooth, smooth, smooth. That. Smooth that. Grab a little more powder underneath the breasts. The skin line around because of the cyborg bits. It's going to be a little redder around there. In between the cleavage. Up across the top here. I'm not actually going to do this breast over here because that's actually one of the cyborg bits. Said we're just going to follow the valleys anywhere where there's a bit of a crease or a fold. So from here, just like all the other parts, just smooth it out a little. I really do enjoy this. It's a much, much cleaner look, I think, than trying to pull off the same thing with paint. I've tried to do the paint shading, I really have, but it always ends up, I always end up with this weird like step in the paint where you can always tell where one begins and the next one ends. This way you can just fade it all out and you can get really nice smooth gradients if you just take a little time and blend it. Up under the chin here. In the corner of the eye, down the side of the nose just a little. Over the top of the eye. smooth. The side of the nose just a bit more. Okay. Smooth this out up underneath the neck. The other eye, the top of the eye, down the side of the nose, just a little. And smooth. I got a little heavy on this side. That's the thing I really love about this process, though. If it's too much, you can just get in there, wipe it off, start all over again. And do that as many times as it takes to get it perfectly the way you want it. Let's dry it out a little. There. More on this side. Right there. And then we're going to want to go around the top of the head here. It's going to be the hairline we talked about earlier. Follow it around. And as always, just smooth it out. Pull it out into the larger, flatter areas. See, there's a little spot right there. And smooth it in. Long and short is that's it. That's the that's pastel shading in a nutshell. Pretty much you just like I said before, you place powder, smooth powder, and if you don't like it, wipe it off and start all over again. It's always changeable until you finally clear coat it, and then it's permanent. Well, I'll see you guys on the forums. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.